So I know that you are not here to listen to my PPT, and even I was thinking when it's going to end. You're here to listen to the brilliant minds of industry, and they are here with us. And I'm very proud that in our session we have the panelists from the government, from the academia and the industry, they will share their insight with us very soon. So now our next session is where we are trying to bring Indian innovation and German engineering together in one panel. Through this panel, we'll try to cover highlights from the German and Indian industry, which can give you some insights to foster knowledge transfer and tech collaboration with an inclusive approach towards sustainability. And yeah, so with these words, let me welcome on the stage Mr. Friedrich Birgelen, Deputy Consul General, a young and dynamic diplomat who is actively promoting the Indo-German bilateral relations in the field of science and business. So could we have a round of applause for him, please? Friedrich, can you come? Then next we have with us Then we have Mr. Benjamin Pfrang, head of RWTH Aachen University India office. He will share his views about Indo-German cooperation in academia and the initiative for sustainability. Benjamin, please on stage. Then virtually we have with us Mr. Pradhyumna Ingle. He is heading, of course, the Henkel for the Asia Pacific. He'll join us virtually. And last but not the least, we have with us Mr. Derick. Derick is the co-founder and chief data scientist at Flutura Decision Science and Analytics. He has been in the analytics space for close to 3 decades and has seen the evolution of data science. So please, can we have a big round of applause for all the panelists? Thank you so much, panelists. It's great to see such a, unique combination of, as I already mentioned, the government, academia, and industry. And I'm so glad that you could join us for our panel. And, starting for the first question, and I'll start with the government, actually. Friedrich, are you ready? Yes.
Yes.
Great. So, Friedrich, sustainability factor is always seen as a priority aspect by German government, and to increase the environmental and social sustainability in science, business, and polity, Germany has already set some climate neutral targets. So, what are some important strategies that Germany is implementing or aiming? Can you share some inputs?
Yeah, of course. Thank you for that question. You mentioned the word target. So we actually did more than a target. We have a law now. Because, with a target, you can say, sorry, we missed our target. Oops, let's try again. But you know how Germans are. Compelled by our constitutional court, we have now a sort of a protection of climate law. And Germany has to be CO2 neutral by 2045. By 2030, emissions have to be brought down by 65% when compared to the year 1990. These are some lofty goals, and so the question is sort of apparent how we will achieve those goals. And I just want to highlight quickly sort of 3 sectors that are key. So energy, we need 75% of renewable energy by 2030. Farming, we need to lower methane gas emissions quickly and significantly. And transport, by 2035, we need more electronic vehicles on the street than sort of traditional fuel-based vehicles. So, again, these are really, really lofty numbers, so how concretely will we do it? Regarding energy, this means money. We have to, we will, and we are investing heavily in the construction of solar and wind parks. And we also have to be less bureaucratic when it comes to getting permits for that. So I think if you want to create some solar energy or a wind park in Germany, and I can criticize my own country, it's a nightmare. You should ask Elon Musk what he had to go through for the gigafactory in Brandenburg. If you find one sort of small endangered snail there, the whole project might be held up for years in the courts, right? And I say this kind of laughingly, but it is a serious issue, and this has to get better. To get to 75% renewable energy by 2030. Regarding farming, this is also a touchy subject, but maybe we should be more like Indians and be more vegetarian. It sounds silly, but it is true. Methane gas emission in sort of mass production of animals is an issue in Germany. Transport, again, money. there are already subsidies for buying electronic vehicles. So a friend of mine, he bought an electronic vehicle, and the government spots you about 8 lakh when you buy an electronic vehicle right now. So that is a lot of money, but it is simply necessary to achieve those numbers. And so we realize a common theme here. It's hard, it's expensive, and it will take effort, but we don't have time. And so I think as we experience it now, these sort of external shock, such as the war in Ukraine, can really throw the whole plan out of whack. But again, I mean, there's really no alternative to it. And I think, and this is why conferences like these are so important, technology can help make the impossible possible. How to make the battery of an electronic vehicle last longer. I mean that is key, and that is a technological question. And yeah, so I think those are the challenges, and that is what Germany is trying to do, but it's not going to be easy. Thank you.
Thank you, Friedrich. I think you're right in saying that we don't have time, and I think the governments from their side, of course, there are industry and academia to collaborate and to cooperate, but the strategies and policies are also very much important for when we see the climate neutral target. So coming from the government to industry, and I'll start with Manu sir. Sir, Mercedes-Benz Research and Development India has been recognized by NASSCOM for its engineering innovation, and rightly so. E-mobility is a booming sector that is expected to transform the automotive industry in a significant way. Can you share the latest innovation? I'm sure there'll be plenty of there from Mercedes side, especially in the field of e-mobility, and we're also keen to know about the recent product launch of EQX. Yes, we have on the screen. Yes, sir, Manu sir.
Yeah, thank you. So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And those of you noticed there was automotive in the mobility panel, there's automotive in the sustainability panel as well. Tells you a lot about the role of automotive going ahead, right? Society has been looking at the industry for its tailpipe emissions for a really long time. Production, of course, sourcing materials, all of that. And the industry per se has a large role to play. So let me start there. But thanks for inviting Ambika, and really happy to be here. For those of you who are not aware, and if it makes you as happy as it does to us at the office, there's today already a little bit of India in every Mercedes when it comes to R&D. We're a team of 10,000 engineers working out of Pune, Bangalore. Thank you so much. Who are contributing to some of the latest innovations, if that goes to tell you the role of tech, the role that engineers will have to play to transform the automotive, and fits beautifully to the future of ICT in sustainability. You really know that the key is in technology, the key is with engineers, and we're a large team of engineers. Actually, the largest team for Mercedes outside of Germany that's sitting right out of the city and trying to solve some of our most pressing problems. Since the last some years now, 2019 to be precise, there were more, say, measured commitments on the topic of sustainability, right? On the commitment towards a greener product, a commitment towards a more carbon neutral way of just putting our customers on the road from point A to point B, as we do in luxury, in style, in safety, but in a completely green way. So 2019, we took on a pledge, it's called Ambition 2039. So if you're on Google looking for that keyword, what is Ambition 2039? We just gave ourselves 2 decades from 2019 onwards to be an absolutely carbon neutral company, right? And when I mean that, it's not just about going electric with the fleet and where Ambika started, but also with production, with the materials that we source and so on and so forth. So there's a huge target, really difficult one to meet. We are a company that's moving from a successful 2.x million Mercedes cars a year that we sell right now to move in from internal combustion to first promise our customers and regulators in the world to have an electric equivalent. This means you always, as a customer, will go to a showroom and find an electric equivalent of a C-Class, of an E-Class, of an S-Class, of an SUV that you want to drive. Soon realized that's not enough and said, we'll go electric first. And within a very short time have come up and said electric only. So if you know the commitment and transition, of course, markets have to allow, there's infrastructure behind, charging, a lot of things. But if you looked at large parts of the world, big markets for us, China, Europe, USA, covers a large part of the luxury volume that we sell. There's already a regulatory commitment on the rest of the infrastructure that we can really stick to a portfolio. And in a forum like this where people have come in to learn, talk, exchange, I don't mind being as candid as I can. There are questions within the company if this commitment to go electric only, while other OEMs are still probably not boldly saying that, and 1 foot on that boat, 1 foot on this, we are totally committed for an electric only future. Simply actually viewing the future as electric anyway, and ensuring that all our resources, engineering, money, time, thoughts, are actually spent on that already now, rather than spreading the jam too thin across technologies. That's the simple idea behind. So bold decision from headquarters, fully supported by the techies in Bangalore. A couple of words as I pass on the mic to my next panelist here on this beautiful picture that you see behind you, Vision EQXX. It's actually more than just a show car, right? Somebody spoke about it already. Range meets sustainability in many ways with this car. There are show cars that come in like the Vision Avatar, if you've seen that on the Google and said, wow, James Cameron and Mercedes did something. This one is getting production ready actually. On a single charge with just that battery, you can do up to 1,000 kilometers, right? Has already been under test. There's a lot of India, Bangalore contribution, Pune contribution to this as well, which we're very proud of. It has 100+ solar cells on the top. It's working with neuromorphic computing, has a bionic mesh design. And for those of you who are interested, we can go into the tech details of this car and what it does. But we've decided to go all out on that, tech front, innovation front, for what I hopefully can share later with the second or the third question on sustainability as a topic in the company.
Manu, sir, that was really insightful. In fact, electric only, I'm sure that with you on the panel and with you on Mercedes, it's not a very long target. We'll achieve it very soon. Thank you so much. Now coming from Mercedes to Mr. Bose, Infosys. So I'm sorry, I was a little bit confused. Let me tell you one fact here, interesting fact. We have on the panel Mr. Jose, Mr. Bose and Mr. Jose. So if I get confused, so please excuse me for that. Yeah, so Infosys. So Mr. Bose, we heard Andrea also, she was talking about the Innovation Center in Düsseldorf, and now you are also here. So as a leader in sustainability and climate action, what is your view on the role of ICT as a driver of sustainability, especially of the low carbon transition, and how has Infosys used ICT in its own sustainability journey? So that is also a very important question. Yeah.
Thank you, Ambika. So I don't know how many of us realize that we are in the midst of two mega trends of the first half of the century. One is clearly the digitization, and the other is sustainability. And to some extent, these are driving each other. And it's really, one is really helping the other. And what digitization has done, it has put data and information in the hands of people and businesses, and helping decisions and choices and driving change. Today we can see it's driving social sustainability, it's driving inclusivity, it is bridging the digital divide, healthcare, education, access to market, access to finance, all this is happening because of this. And if you look at environmental sustainability and climate action that we see today, we do know that this whole Paris Agreement and this 1.5 degrees C global warming target, many things have to happen if we are to achieve this goal. And at the top of the line is this whole transition to renewable power, which is clearly underway. Then there is mobility. And we have already seen, the sector being talked about. EV in itself is, we know it's not going to make the transition. EVs have to be ultimately driven by renewable power. Only then the transition will be complete. And we have made some great headway in these two sectors or transformations. But for this to become really universal, we know energy storage has to be in the picture. Probably green hydrogen has to be in the picture. And then we have to deal with the whole managing the supply infrastructure, the grid. This whole space can only truly transform if digitization and ICT comes and helps. So ICT is not just an enabler, it is definitely going to drive this transition to a low carbon economy and sustainability in general. And if you look at Infosys today, as Andrea said, we are a carbon neutral company. We have achieved that back in 2020 itself. We are driving towards 100% renewable energy. On the social side, we have created Tech for Good programs, making tech accessible to the public at large. Then internal programs, creating tech talent at scale. All this is determined by ICT, digitization. And if I may give a specific example, as a company, as an IT company, a lot of our assets lie in terms of our infrastructure, office infrastructure. We have created more than 50 million square feet of office space in India. We own and manage them. And we embarked on one of the largest IoT projects, connecting all these hundreds of buildings lying across India in many states and connecting them to what we call a command center in Bangalore, in our headquarters. So here we can, pull up any campus building to a specific cubicle space, and we can manage, control, monitor all of those. So we have, in our own journey, we have leveraged ICT greatly and digitization. I will continue to do that, and I believe that's the future for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bose. So just to add what Mr. Bose has told, that innovation, as Andrea also mentioned, that Infosys is already working with lots of SMEs in North Rhine-Westphalia to convert their system or to convert their operation into digitalization. So that's a hint for the companies who are present here. So moving to the next one, Mr. Jose from DMG MORI. DMG MORI Group is one of the largest manufacturers of metal cutting machines and a leading global manufacturer of CNC controlled machines. And you're using the advanced technology, ultrasonic and laser tech as well, as a software solution and systems for the efficient operation. Could you please brief us about the common areas of cooperation between NRW, Germany and India, especially through your facilities? And why I'm mentioning that, because you are also, your head office is in Bielefeld, right? Yeah, Mr. Jose.
Thanks, Ambika. Unlike Mercedes and Infosys, I don't know, I'm not sure if many of you are aware about this company, DMG MORI, what you see on the screen. DMG MORI AG is a worldwide leading manufacturer of computer numerically controlled lathes and milling machines with 12,000 employees and 15 production plants across the globe. It is headquartered in Bielefeld, as you see here, a city in the NRW region, 150 kilometers northeast to Düsseldorf. If you don't mind, can I have that mic? Thank you. Yeah, also you can see here, it used to be like the Manchester of Germany once upon a time, a city of linen weavers. Yeah, but then today it is known for its electrical engineering, also the machine tools industry, and the paper products and the clothing. Apart from Dr. Oetker, which you must have heard regarding the foodstuff. What you see now is the headquarters of DMG MORI AG, which also happens to be the headquarter of Gildemeister, the production plant, and also Realizer. Realizer is into additive manufacturing machines, which is, as you know, is an emerging technology for manufacturing. A brief about the company. This company was founded in the year 1870 by Mr. Friedrich Gildemeister, and serial production of the lathes in assembly lines started in 1910. The mother factory was completely destroyed during the World War, but was reconstructed and later moved to Sennestadt for expansion. In the 60s, Gildemeister came up with the first CNC lathes built with Siemens controllers. Thereafter, you can see it's a case of acquisitions and mergers leading to the DMG MORI, what we see today. The global footprint has expanded across continents with 138 direct subsidiaries represented in 86 countries, catering to more than 100,000 customers. The technology center in Pina, Bangalore, is in a way a gift from NRW, where thousands of customers get benefited through demonstrations and test cuts, trainings, and turnkey projects. Coming to the technologies, what we offer are the turning technologies, milling, ultrasonic, laser tech, additive, like I mentioned earlier, and automation. This caters to a wide array of industries, to name a few: aerospace, automotive, die mold, energy, and medical. The group took the key steps to automation and integrated digitization in 2009, when IoT was still a topic under discussion. Coming specifically to the areas of cooperation, as Ambika asked, Gildemeister had provided the technology transfer to the state-owned company Hindustan Machine Tools, also better known as HMT, in the 70s. This was a time when India was taking the first steps in the journey of serial or mass production. To cite an example, all the two-wheeler manufacturers then put together, including Java, Enfield, Bajaj, they were not producing more than 100,000 motorcycles and scooters. There was a need to steeply ramp up the technology. And this is where HMT, together with Gildemeister, built the multi-spindle machines. And this started dotting around over all these industries, not only in automotive, but also in other fast-moving consumer goods and other durables. Later in the 90s, when Gildemeister acquired Deckel and Maho to form DMG, it provided the much sought-after precision universal milling machines for the tool room and die mold shops. Some of the machines were also placed in the Indo-German tool rooms across the country, known as IGTR. This was in the 90s, and thereafter, with the growth of aerospace, there was a demand for 5-axis simultaneous machining centers and also multitasking machines. These breed of machines were installed in numbers at the various units of ISRO, Hindustan Aeronautics, Tata Aerospace, and ACUS. The ultrasonic machines have helped ISRO produce parts made of special glass that works at sub-zero temperatures in satellites. At our Bangalore Technology Center, we prepare the turnkey solutions that include NC programming, planning, special fixtures and tooling design, also CAD/CAM strategies, and the project runoff. Besides the Technology Center, DMG MORI Group has invested in Pragati, a firm manufacturing machine tool accessories in Bangalore, and also in another software company known as DMLS Intech for additive technology for easy programming in 3D printing machines. I believe that sums up the contribution what DMG MORI in a way through NRW is making towards the Indian industry. Thank you.
Thank you, Jose. Jose, I think I should add it like, you have helped me in a bit, because you have also conveyed what I wanted to convey through my presentation, that NRW's industrial hub with the innovation, and that's you have covered very well. Thank you so much for that. So now to give a flavor to the panel, we have with us Mr. Benjamin from Aachen University. So Benjamin, RWTH Aachen University is among the lead technical university in Europe and a key strength of NRW. And it's also very popular among Indian students, as we all know, and the researcher. Can you highlight the special relationship that RWTH has with India? And also, if you could share a few research areas that are related to today's topic of sustainability. Benjamin.
Sure. Thank you also. For me, the first time after a long time, a physical event, so happy to be here. And yeah, I will give a brief overview of the relationship that my university has with India and then touch on 2 specific projects that are going on between RWTH and India that pertain especially to today's topics of sustainability. So first off, we by now have over 1,900 Indian students in Aachen. So for a comparably small city, this is actually also a remarkable number, and we are very happy about that, of course. So, and the special relationship that RWTH has with India actually goes back over half a century, when RWTH Aachen in the late 50s supported the establishment of the IIT Madras, actually. So apart from the special connection that is there with the IIT Madras, there are also MOUs in place with, for example, with the IISc here in Bangalore and with other IITs also. But coming especially to the cooperation that is going on with the IIT Madras, 10 years ago, over an initiative between both our governments, the Indo-German Center for Sustainability was founded, and it's physically located at the IIT Madras in Chennai, and it's a cooperation with other universities from Germany, from Berlin, Stuttgart, and Kiel. And there the research focus is on one hand on energy, on water treatment, on waste treatment, and also on land use, rural as well as urban land use. So that is kind of the flagship project between India and Germany in the field of sustainability, you could say. And just last year, a second project where also RWTH and IIT Madras cooperate was founded, that is funded by the German Foreign Ministry, and that is the Global Water and Climate Adaptation Center, ABCD Center, as an acronym for the involved cities also, so Aachen, Bangkok, Chennai, and Dresden, so basically a global cooperation. Physically, again, located in Chennai at the IIT Madras, and there the focus areas are similar to the one going at the IGCS, sorry, but focusing more on water, so water supply, water treatment, water security, and also nature-based measures actually for making everything more sustainable. And of course, also the knowledge transfer into the society is an important topic there. So these are the 2 flagship projects going on between RWTH and India on the one side. But apart from that, of course, if you're only looking at our university in Aachen, there's a lot of research going on across faculties pertaining to sustainability, be it e-mobility, renewables, sustainable building materials, and so on and so on. So yeah, you could say RWTH definitely has a strong sustainability focus, and especially also, of course, with India together. Yeah.
Thank you, Benjamin. And I think lunch is there, but I think you can bring some energy. Can we have one round of applause from all of you? Thank you so much. So Benjamin, as you rightly mentioned, there are like lots of traction from Indian students towards Aachen, and it will increase more. And we're happy that you are here in India now to represent RWTH Aachen. So thank you for that. And now no panel is complete without startup, although I'll not say that they are startup because they are already working with lots of companies, in fact with the German companies also, and providing a wonderful solution. So my question to you, Derick, digital twin is not an alien word anymore, and many manufacturing and other companies are using this technology to increase the operational efficiency. And as we are discussing, Flutura Cerebra, am I right? Yeah. Cerebra is world's first digital twin for achieving net zero, which in turn has immensely helped your clients as well. So North Rhine-Westphalia, as you heard now, it's an industrial hub. So how do you see the scope of your solution to further enhance their operation or to collaborate with the companies there?
Sure. So the way we looked at sustainability was sustainability will be sustainable if the economics of it can survive a capitalistic structure, right? So that was the first focus. So the question we asked ourselves was, where do we impact on the economic side of net zero initiatives? So there are 2 sides you can impact, the cost side of the equation as well as the revenue side of the equation. So we are executing 2 projects, both in Houston. I'll talk about one is on the revenue side of the equation. We are working with Technip FMC. Technip FMC is the largest manufacturer of subsea equipments. They produce a lot of fossil fuel, okay. But they have been obsessed with hydrogen-powered operations. and they're offering it as a service, which will bring in new revenue streams for them. So the entire operational digital twin is powered by Cerebra. We won it against competition from 23 companies. So it's not Palo Alto, Silicon Valley which is doing that. 80 engineers in Jayanagar are doing this, actually. Yeah, so we're very proud of that. And it's a very flagship initiative we are working on. The second initiative is on the cost side of the equation. We are working with refineries. One of the largest refineries called Derick in Houston. Refining industry is like, it's almost like cooking, right? You're cooking up chemicals, right? And in the process of cooking chemicals, you consume a lot of energy, you emit a lot of stuff into the atmosphere. So the product which we're building is world's first refinery digital twin. Entire operations is twinned on our platform. We'll track two things, diagnostics and prognostics of both the energy consumption, how much energy do they consume, as well as how much gas they emit into the atmosphere, and we want to bring that down. So those are the two flagship products we are working. I'm very proud of what we are doing. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Derick. Wonderful job. So now we have Mr. Pradhyumna Ingle is present virtually with us, and I have one question for him because Henkel is also a brand from NRW. So Henkel holds a leading position in both industrial and consumer businesses and operates with future innovation and technologies many areas. Henkel is also focusing on driving growth, accelerating digitalization, and also leveraging digital twin technology in one of its facilities. So Mr. Pradhyumna, can you share how these emerging technologies are enhancing the productivity in day-to-day operation?
That's a great question, Ambika. Digitalization is a decisive element of our strategic framework that we have devised for ourselves for achieving a purposeful growth throughout 2020s. And it is critical to the future of Henkel. With the establishment of Henkel DX organization a couple of years ago, we are truly accelerating the digital transformation of our company, of our teams. We are driving innovations and we are creating new business opportunities. In 2021, we opened new digital innovation hubs in Berlin and in Shanghai. We are also expanding our strategic partnerships, working with other industry leaders. For example, we are working with Adobe in a strategic collaboration to develop an integrated digital platform for our digital business and for e-commerce. Industry 4.0 is another important focus for us in our business. In 2021, Henkel was recognized by the World Economic Forum for the third consecutive year actually as a pioneer in the implementation of Industry 4.0 in the business. As a result of this focus, our share of digital sales has been growing significantly across all business units. Just over 2 years, from 2019 to 2021, the share of digital revenue at the group level increased by more than 50%. So that's a tremendous shift towards a more digitalized business. Together with innovation and digitalization, sustainability is at the heart of our corporate strategy. Sustainability is at the core of our DNA for more than 140 years. It allows us to shape competitive edge. It allows us to grow the business and create tremendous value for our customers, consumers, and stakeholders. As we are trying to make progress on our very ambitious sustainability targets, we are using and leveraging digitalization as a core competence that we are trying to develop to make progress on achieving these goals. And we are doing that both externally in how we serve our customers, but also internally inside our Henkel plants. I'll share with you some examples of how we are using digital to make our own production sites climate positive, how we are making it much more value adding to our own supply chain operations. As an example, we have established a very strong digital backbone that collects and analyzes data from every individual process step on every individual machine in every production line in our plants, right from mixing ingredients through preparing the final product for transportation. This analytics allows us to make our work streams and our waste streams transparent so that we know where there's an issue. And actually, in many cases, we are able to predict even the issue even before it happens, and we are able to share best practices. A great example of this is right here in India, where we have established the largest adhesive plant in this part of the world near Pune in Kurkum. This plant, with an investment of 50 million euro, is a truly smart factory with data-driven, intelligent systems in place to control machines, optimize our production processes, and do all that in real time. Another wonderful example is what we call the digital twin, a cloud-based 3D replica of our laundry and home care plant in Serbia, which enables the simulation of our operations to arrive at optimal process parameter for our facility without actually having to do that, those trials inside the plant. We can do that digitally. We are also implementing and deploying very advanced digital tools to help us reduce emissions from our own logistic operations and transportation. By employing these tools, we from 2015 until 2021, we are able to achieve a reduction of transport-related emission by 14%. That's a big contribution just coming from having better analytics, better transparency, and better visibility. We are also part of a consortium which pioneers digital watermark. It's a very advanced, very new digital technology that allows for better sorting and higher quality recycling rates for packaging material inside European Union. And this truly enables a circular economy that we want to all achieve and make sure that we contribute to our sustainability goals. So, as you can see, we are using digital as truly an enabler to not only advance our business, not only advance our efficiency externally, but also making sure that we contribute and gain from these investments and these innovations inside our own operations to make sure that we are making step progress and step changes on achieving sustainability goals inside our operations.
Thank you, Mr. Ingle. That was really insightful. Now, there is one common question for all the panelists, and now I'm relieved because I have to ask one question to all of you. Done. So, sustainable development is the way out for industrial growth and for the longevity of business. Therefore, it's very important that sustainability and innovation go hand in hand. So, how do you see the inclusion of sustainability aspect in your organization? And I think I'll continue with Mr. Pradhyumna. We have a message from him, and then we'll move on to other panelists.
Absolutely, Ambika. As I mentioned previously,
it's okay if not working lights, it's okay. We can continue with other panelists. So I'll come to you, Mr. Jose, DMG MORI, for the same question. So could you help me with that?
All right. Thank you.
Okay, you want to put it in?
I would need my slide. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So sustainability is at the very forefront of DMG MORI's strategic orientation. It had always been an important topic for us long before it became a focus of global attention. We are climate neutral in our own value creation since May 2020. We had a balanced company carbon footprint. Since January 2021, all delivered machines are completely climate neutral along the entire supply chain. This makes DMG MORI one of the first industrial companies with a climate neutral product carbon footprint. We therefore call our machines as green machines. In the slide also you can see the mention of carbon dioxide neutral in green together with the DMG MORI logo. There are not many machine tool manufacturers who can proudly display that. The second initiative is the green mode. With green mode, we consistently improve the energy and emission efficiency of our machine tools. How do we do it? We had developed special human-machine interface known as CELOS, standing for Control Efficiency Lead Operating System, which is apps-based. It has the necessary app for transparency and optimization of the energy consumption. Then there are consumption-optimized components, such as LED, construction for smaller accelerated masses through finite element analysis, recovery of braking energy, and intelligent control aggregates. Green mode is included as a standard feature in every machine at no extra cost for our customers. This opens up numerous advantages for our customer, including the possibilities of making their production more sustainable and also subsidies for energy efficient machines. Compared to previous models, our machines save up to 30% energy. The third initiative is the green tech. I hope this is also visible on the right bottom area, the green tech. Green tech is our commitment to the further development of green technologies together with our customers. They manufacture innovative components on DMG MORI machines. To name a few, parts for wind turbines, hydroelectric power plants, fuel cells, or electromobility. And in our technology excellence centers, including the one in Bangalore, we support them with specific know-how on these technologies. What we see here is the headquarters in Bielefeld. I had mentioned about Bielefeld earlier, where we use 100% green electricity, a part of which we generate ourselves in our energy park. That is the visual of the energy park, what you see here. There are 13 giant sun tracking solar panels manufactured by our own subsidiary company. The cost savings through this amounts to approximately 300,000 euros only at this facility, and we are talking of 15 production plants. At our Bangalore Tech Center, we have also got one such panel. In Bielefeld, DMG MORI sponsors the Bielefeld City Forest project. DMG MORI has operated an energy management system in accordance with ISO 50001 at all European production sites. Monitoring and analysis of energy consumption is performed using Energy Monitor software. This slide basically speaks about the vision of the company, and it's a bold statement from DMG MORI. It realizes and lives sustainability. Our vision statement explicitly expresses this. We want to be the world's most attractive machine tool manufacturer with digitized and sustainable products. We are committed to all our stakeholders, including partners, employees, and customers in this journey of sustainability. Through the green mode features, which is also listed on the right side, there are many features, and anyone who is interested to know more about this can get in touch with me. The green mode features, it also helps our customer by not only supplying such smart machines with CELOS machine servers, but also in the process help them set up smart shop floors, smart factories, and more importantly, smart companies. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jose. So you already have a vision and sustainable strategies in your company, and that says a lot. For Infosys, so what is, Mr. Bose, what is your view on that?
Hey, Ambika. Thank you for the question. Let me start with what is the state of affairs in the world today as a business for us or for everyone when it comes to sustainability. There are a lot of push coming from many areas. One is the market forces itself, how the market operates, how companies consume services and products. And then there is this investor ecosystem again pushing for sustainable development, low carbon transition. We are about to witness the regulatory ecosystem to start pushing us. In India, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs is beginning that process. In Europe and many geographies, we are about to witness a flurry of legislations mandating companies to not only disclose but also to take action, take commitments. For example, UK is going to ask their listed companies to provide detailed action plan for net zero plans. And then the citizen at large, everything is driven by them. So the market forces for us, for example, Infosys, 10 years ago, when we probably participate in a big RFP, maybe $1 billion RFP, there would be a few questions, what do you do? Do you have a policy? Do you have a strategy? Less, feel good factor questions. Today, this ESG section runs into pages, and it's really weighted into the whole RFP assessment and really giving an RFP. So it's become really critical for us to do well. And that's where I think, whatever we have done over the last decade is paying off for Infosys today. We are one of the leaders in sustainability in the world. Wall Street Journal last year, they ranked world's 10,000 companies, and Infosys is listed at number 30 as one of the most sustainable companies in the world. Within India, last year, CRISIL rated Infosys as the number 1 ESG company in India. And in 2019, the UN awarded us the UN Climate Action Award for our carbon neutral program. As Andrea said, in 2020, we turned carbon neutral. So we have had a long journey, and we have, really at a place where we are leading ESG and climate action, and that's really paying us off. And all these fronts, whether it's an impending legislation, right now we are discussing that US SEC is going to implement new, mandatory disclosures and certain actions from companies listed there. We are listed in NASDAQ, but we are fully prepared for that, and we feel very comfortable because of those. And on the other hand, we are also one of the leading digitization partners for our clients, helping them on this journey of sustainability and being a partner with them. So sustainability has been, we even have put a number to it. We think about 1% of our market cap hinges on our ESG action. And that's about $1 billion today, and that's a public disclosure we have made. So it's really critical for us in the marketplace, within our stakeholders and our investors, and we will continue to find, climb new peaks. And we have already set 2030 goals when we reach carbon neutral in 2020, ambitious goals across ESG. And that's what it means for us.
Thank you, Joe. Now coming to Derick. Derick, he has very nicely mentioned that the sustainable goals or ESG goals. So what do you think? Because you're just, not telling started, but you already know in the startup phase and all. So what is your idea about that? Is it the sustainability approach? Is it feel to good factor or a must-have approach for you?
No, as I said, the economics should always support it for it to be sustainable. But the larger point is all these massive machines and processes which are responsible for the state we are in have to be closely watched as the operations are being performed, right? And if you were to watch them, you have to have millions of sensors which are watching their operations, and a ton of data is being collected out of that. And if you look at the patterns, you'll be able to quickly intervene on a misbehaving process or a misbehaving equipment in real time and make sure that issue is addressed. And the skill sets for that requires not just digital AI skills, it also needs electromechanical skills. And one of the reasons I think Bangalore is uniquely poised to help here is because it's a unique place where two worlds collide. You have the gray hat people, 50-year-olds, colliding with the young ponytail guys, 20-year-olds. The gray hat people bring a lot of electromechanical domain knowledge. The ponytails bring in their AI knowledge. And this collision doesn't happen anywhere in the world. At least the best of. Houston has a lot of electromechanical skills, but they don't have the ponytails. Bay Area has the ponytails, but they don't have a critical mass of electromagnetic. But this is a very unique, what I would call a cocktail of people who can impact these kind of outcomes. So Industrial AI standards, for example, not many people know, for the consumer AI space, it was Google and Facebook which was setting the global standards for consumer AI. For the industrial AI space, India is leading that, actually. ABB, GE, all of them, a lot of startups are setting the global standards for industrial AI. And I think Bangalore, Pune, Coimbatore, all of them will play a very crucial role in digitizing net zero operations, and in the process make a global impact. Yeah.
Thank you, Derick. Thank you so much. So speaking about cocktails, Benjamin, Derick was nicely mentioning. So Benjamin, how do you bring your cocktail? The academia side, what do you feel? I mean, what do you say about the sustainability factor again?
Yeah, so speaking about like what my university is doing as a responsibility for sustainability, I mean, I already touched upon the research, extensive research that is going on in the field of sustainability. But RWTH Aachen actually has also a clear mission statement for sustainability, which is in line with the United Nations goals to become carbon neutral by 2030. So for this task also, for example, a dedicated staff unit was established. A professor, rector's delegate was announced also to oversee all measures that have to be taken across all faculties to become more sustainable throughout all faculties, throughout all study courses that are there. And so that ranges, of course, from teaching, research, learning, but also to the whole campus operations, actually. So the goal is there, and with this mission statement, the path is also clear, and yeah, we're going to follow that.
Thank you, Benjamin. So Friedrich, you are already in close connect with the Indian as well as German companies, right? So what is your view about that, like with the sustainability, whether we should include in the business, or how important is that?
I mean, I think it's obviously it's extremely important, but I think sort of representing a government here, as a government, we ask a lot of businesses. You alluded to it, with all the disclosure and all the sort of hard caps that are being put on emissions and will be put even more drastically in the future. And I think sort of as a government, we then kind of have to lead by example in our own dealings. And I mean, this might sound silly, but it's really small stuff. So for example, here at the consulate, I think the next car we buy should be an electric cars. I mean, even it might be hard in Bangalore. I know our Dutch colleagues, they now have these orange Ola e-scooters, which they drive around Bangalore with. And that is, I don't know. I mean, it's small. It doesn't make a big difference, but I think it is so important as a symbol that, and I've spoken about it previously, all the things that German companies now have to go through regarding CO2 emissions. It would be hypocritical of the government to not do it themselves. And just want to finish by one very small example, but which I found very telling. So for example, a former colleague of ours, Ambika, you know him, he'd always get mad if we leave the light on in the office after leaving, and he lived across the street so he could see it. And he would sort of reprimand us in the morning for not sort of being energy conscious. And I was just thinking that 10 years ago, we would have thought, oh, what a strange person, and how dare you bother us with this small stuff. But now I know I feel bad about it, and as I should. And so I think that just goes to show how much it has changed, and that for government it is sort of important to lead by example if you ask so much of businesses. Thanks.
Thank you, Friedrich. And I think you rightly mentioned that small steps lead to a bigger success actually. And now coming back to where we started, to Manu sir. Sir, so how do you see the inclusion of sustainability aspect in your organization? You have already explained us a bit, but a little bit further from your side.
You've put me straight between their lunch and them, so I try to keep it short. So, yeah, nice pictures always from Mercedes. So hope you enjoy it as I speak. We don't need text on them at all. Sustainability is part of business practice, like every corporate is talking about, right? So let me kind of speak about two things. One with the cap on as a corporate, as Mercedes, and one probably just as an Indian corporate, Indian businessman, if you want to call Indian engineer, certainly. The answer is Mercedes, of course, like you hear from all corporates, sustainability is part of business strategy. We realize what CO2 footprint we are living on the planet. as we are developing this product, as we are mass producing this product, and every action that you can think about that's possible, from redefining the portfolio to the way we manufacture things, are in place, are coming in place, and I guess it's just responsible corporate citizenship to be doing this, right? All big names with big budgets are able to kind of not just greenwash this topic, but really go behind it. We're doing that too. We have a 6-fold strategy. We're looking at climate, we're looking at air quality, we're looking at resource preservation in many ways. Do we really need more resource to produce more cars? Can we think about doing it with constant amount of resources in many ways, at production, at steel and plastics and so on and so forth, leather that goes in. There's a lot of discussions around, as a mobility provider, around livable cities. I'm interested in talking about livable cities in India in many ways. Connected to that is this topic of traffic safety, very relevant in India, which is a 4th pillar of our discussions. We're talking about data responsibility as we go on, and most importantly, getting into electric and talking about resources, natural resources that are needed, cobalt, lithium, whatever else, about human rights too. Some of these things are relevant for us in India. All of this are relevant for us globally. When I say India, because we may not be mining or getting into discussions around lithium and cobalt in India, some other part of the world, but these 6 pillars that I mentioned are kind of defining how Mercedes is looking into it. Now the second part of my answer, more out of India, more out of tech and relevant for this conference. I don't know who's in this room, but if you're dealing with tech, you already know tech is holding the answers to many of our problems today. And we're here because we think tech holds the answers to sustainability as well. The word innovation came up in so many different ways during the conference from Dr. Reddy and from others. As corporates, we're all into that somehow. And my answer is, or my comment more is, I think India Inc. and the tech that it provides will hold an answer to a lot of sustainability problems, challenges that comes up in the world. And if as corporates within the country, we realize this and act accordingly, this means put our resources, money, people are behind it, I think we'll solve a lot of world's problems. That's where I want to leave the challenge with all of you from. That's my challenge to at the company.
Thank you so much. Thank you for summing it up. And thank you so much, panelists. I'll not torture you anymore. And that was the last question. You have already given enough food for thoughts. And I would say there are 2 key takeaways which I had realized, and of course you as well. So there's a great potential of collaboration between Indian innovation and German engineering, and of course with sustainability. And the most important one is Mr. Bose, Mr. Jose, and Mr. Jose, they are not digital twin. With all these words, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for wonderful audience. Can we have a round of applause for our panelists? Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ambika, and wonderful panelists. Can I request all of you to please come together, on stage for one group picture. Maybe you can have some music. So I think we were able to catch up time. So we'll be back here at 2 o'clock to start the afternoon. It's called Future Health. There's some really amazing presentations there. And my thanks to the wonderful speakers of this panel. Maybe if Sumit is there, please also come. We take one picture together. And who else do I see? Mr. Nath is here. Mr. Rajesh Nath. Sir, please.